Hi, everybody. With me today is Barry Frey, the President and CEO of DPAA. Barry, hi.
Adrian, how are you? Good to see you. I look forward to seeing you next week.
Yes, we're here to talk about the DPAA Global Summit. How many years now have you been doing the DPAA Global Summit? You yourself. I've been running for about 12 years, but since you took control.
This will be my 8th year.
Eighth year?
Yeah.
Blimey.
Wow, right? It's grown every year except for COVID, but even in the midst of Omicron and COVID last year, we had almost 700 people, and we're looking to break that record again.
You did, yeah. Well, you're getting up to close to 1,000 when it was at the hotel before the COVID years, weren't you? So you've moved. Tell everybody where you are, because this is only your second year. Chelsea Pier, is that the right name for it? Chelsea Pier?
Yeah, it's Chelsea Piers in New York City. It's on the Hudson River. It's a beautiful venue, and it's at one of the piers, and it's going to be great. We had it there last year. Everybody liked it. It's big, it's open, it's great for networking and great for the show that we put on.
Good. Well, it's looking like you're going to get an extra 400 or 500 people who are going to experience it for the first year. You're on Tuesday, October the 11th. That is next week. What's the apart from you dancing? What's the highlight?
Well, I think the highlight is we all had a rough go of it during COVID. Needless to say, people who were not outside the home, there were no eyeballs to make money on for out of home, but we all had our expenses. So that was very difficult. So last year, as you know, our summit was all about resilience, revitalization, and reimagination. And we showed all that, and we came through that. So now, Adrian, it's time to put the pedal to the metal on digital fast forward. So now that we've got over the hump, we're now going forward, and it's great. The industry is doing very well. We're getting back to pre-COVID numbers now, which is terrific, but it's really time to double down on digital. And when we talk about digital, we're talking about digital data. We're talking about programmatic. We're talking about mobile data. We're talking about retargeting. We're talking about great hardware, great software, digital practices, digital principles, and everything that has driven insurance, education, the financial markets forward is a digital business. So it is screens, but it's not just screens. It's about basically going forward, fast forward on digital. So that's the theme this year, Adrian.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, the thing that you've been known for, it's hard to believe that you've been around for 8 years, because you always bring a fresh perspective to the industry. So it looks like you always come across as a newcomer, if you like, in a nice way. I'm trying to say that. It's like, Barry's been here for 8 years. I can't believe that. And the thing that you've done, which nobody else has done in the industry, is bringing the brands and the clients and the advertising agencies to the table. And you've always done that. And that's the big thing about your media summit. But I noticed this year, obviously, you've been sending editorial to myself and some others. You've got Adidas, Microsoft, we call them Claire's accessories. I assume that Claire's accessories and Claire's is the same thing.
Yeah.
And I think every woman probably under the age of 30 has had their ears pierced by Claire's accessories, I suspect, at some point in their life.
My daughters have had that done. You're right.
There you go. And there's another one you've got. Who's the fourth one?
Well, we have Fresh Direct, of course.
Fresh Direct.
And we also have Kathleen Hall, who is a wonderful lady who runs all the global branding for Microsoft, and has become a good friend. And she's also on our DPAA brand council as well.
So I was actually going to ask you, how do you get these people? But you have this, explain a little bit about the brand council, because I'm assuming that's where you make friends with these people and get them excited by digital.
Well, I think the genesis, Adrian, comes that, I'm not really an association guy. I've built media companies around the world. I've been an ad seller. I run sales for media across TV, radio, print, the NBA. And I've run marketing for the same organizations, global sales and marketing for the Hallmark Channel. And as me being in that kind of position in career, I've always noticed, where does the money start from? And it starts from the brands, and the brands direct the agency. So we really focus on where the money comes from. So all of my life, I've been in this environment, and I know these people, and I know how to speak to them. I have an understanding of what they need and what they want. And so that's how we built our business here. And when out-of-home companies around the world go send their salespeople into buyers at an agency, it's very possible that it may get approved from the top down because Barry or the DPAA told us with the excitement going on in this industry and the power of this industry now. So,
Yeah.
and our brand council, to your question, and thank you for the compliments there. We've got about 14 people, Hyundai, L'Oreal, as I mentioned, Microsoft, T-Mobile, Cadillac, FanDuel. We've had this now for about almost 4 years. And once again, it informs our members. A lot of these people have spoken at our member meetings, and we meet twice a year with the board that really gets a chance to understand where the money comes from and what we need to do better, what we need to do differently. And it's very powerfully engaging when you talk to the folks that direct the money. So, we do all of this every year at the summit because we want people to understand where the money flows and where it comes from and how it goes. But then we also add a little bit of freshness every year to it. We always have a surprise opening, which soon to be determined as well.
Okay.
You'll see that one.
Well, you do a surprise opening, and then you have a surprise. A surprise. It's always It's always a Broadway show in the afternoon, really, isn't it? Is that fair to say?
Yeah, finally, we just announced it. I think you had some early information on this, as you always do. You're a very good researcher and an intrepid reporter. But we have this year, we're very proud to have the actual Broadway cast live from Hadestown, which is a Tony Award-winning musical. And we're going to have at least a couple of performances from them. And look, it's my sensibility that to persuade, to educate, to sell, to market, you also have to inspire and entertain. And that's why we put together a whole full day of this. And what I'm also very proud of, we're going to talk about our Women's Empowerment Program, where we're raising the level of women into executive positions by our training and education and bonding. Mm-hmm. And then we're going to have, it's also important to round out everybody's knowledge. We're going to have Katty Kay, global anchor of the BBC, who's going to talk about a documentary she just completed on the state of democracy. So that should be very interesting as well.
Okay, well, that's very apt in your country and in mine. So just lastly, Barry, I mean, your event is a global event. It has been for many years. You may not have called it a global event until the last couple of years. Have you seen how many people are coming from outside the United States of America for your event? We know we've got people coming from Dubai for your event, from France and the UK, Germany. Have you seen any others? I mean, because it really is truly global these days.
Yes, and part of that, since we started early on, and when I started here 8-9 years ago, it was all about forwarding this business based on digital principles. And digital crosses borders quite easily, and that's why we've been successful. We have members in every continent, although you once pointed out that we don't have any members in Antarctica, and that's because the Penguins don't get very involved in advertising yet. But I'm working on it.
Yeah, I was being snarky in one of your press releases, as I'm meant to do. Yeah, see, it's not all continents. There was one that you weren't in, but there you go.
Yeah, no, but you deliver snark from education and knowledge, and that's okay. It's that's perfectly fine. So we do have members in every continent but Antarctica, and it's because digital crosses borders, and best-selling and consulting practices do cross borders quite easily. And we like to say that we help our members get a bigger piece of the pie in America, a bigger piece of the cake in the UK. And then interestingly, in Brazil, we help them get a bigger piece of the pizza pie, which is the metaphorical look at gaining share there as well. But we have members coming. It looks like, I've taken a look, it looks like every continent will be represented, a lot from Europe, a lot from Asia this year, which is really popping up. Good. And then, because of also the global head of marketing on stage from Microsoft, the global head of in UK and Germany, Adidas, in America, Adidas. These are advertising core principles that everybody should know. So it looks like once again we'll have a great group from so many other countries. By the way, I was in Toronto last week, and it was just a joy to walk in a room and people all excited about coming to our summit as well. So always a good representation.
No, that's good. It's very good for them. It's good that you're ahead of the game. I mean, when you look at your sponsors, people like Broadsign, they're a global company. They're a global software business.
Absolutely.
They're all over the world. So you've been ahead of the game by being global. So well done on doing that. Look, I know you've got lots of things to do because there's only really a couple of days before you. You probably have to get your dancing shoes on and do a little bit of practice as well, I suspect, without giving anything away. I'm sure you do. So, Barry, again, thanks for your time, and I'll see you on Tuesday.
Great to see you. And the last thing, in addition to the brands, I would say is you mentioned broadsign. Of course, it'll be a lot on programmatic. We'll have a lot of conversation of SSPs and DSPs and everybody else. And it should be a good day, breakfast, lunch, and a great cocktail party after, as always.
Brilliant. Thank you, Barry.
Thank you, Adrian.